Congratulations, Jarrad. What does that mean to you personally, first off?
Oh, that's why you coach. As players, as coaches, administration, you put in all the hard work to get the rewards on game day. And why I coach, it's just the fulfilment. When you see all the hard work that the players put in and the smiles on their faces, that's what you coach. You just love it. So I couldn't be any prouder of the players.
Obviously, there's a lot of talk about the fact that you could be in contention for the job. Do you feel like that enhances that at all?
I think I said the other day, wins and losses. I don't know if they'll mount up or not in terms of whether I'm endorsed or there's a greater opportunity. But what I do know is it just solidifies why I coach. Why I accepted the opportunity to step up as interim, and as I said, I'm here to try and help the team be better, and hopefully I'm doing that. And we asked the players to do it for longer than last week, and they did that. And if they're listening to the message, fantastic. I don't know much more to say really than that.
Is it fair to say, though, it seems to add a little bit of fuel to the fire for you right now?
Oh yeah, well, as I said, once again, it's why you coach. I love being in the seat. I'm enjoying it. I said that many a times. That was even when we haven't won a game, and you definitely enjoy it a lot more when you're winning. We want it to be a habit of ours, and the fuel's been there. The fire in the belly. I've said that 3 weeks ago, and when you're in this seat, it gets exciting. And when you see the players get their reward for their hard work, you see the fans that turn out over the last 2.5 years. Get excited about what we're chasing. We talk about our identity. That's the fulfilment part, why you coach, and that's why I'm enjoying being in this seat at the moment.
What made the win possible tonight with the way they played?
I just showed the players that we chase a few KPIs, and we've been pretty consistent with that over the last 3 weeks. And for them to execute at a high level in the fourth quarter, I think just shows the resilience. In the space of 3 weeks, they know what it looks like at their best. We talked about being able to sustain it for longer. They did that, and there was momentum swings within the game. I think there's been periods throughout the year, without stating the obvious, where we haven't been able to rest momentum, and we did that tonight. We were able to hold up, we were able to arm wrestle it back in our favour, and then sort of really step through it. And that's what I was proud of, and that's the way that we committed to the contest in the fourth quarter, the way that they pressured the game. Not just the experienced players, but the young fellas to really stand up in that space. It was a real growth game for us as a team, and as I said, they got the reward that they deserve.
How pleased were you for your co-captain to kick that goal, that critical goal late?
Leaders step up when they need to step up, but puts the icing on the cake there. But in terms of some of his contest work, having been out for a week or so, it was fantastic to see him do that.
Seems like you guys play your best footy when you're physical, and you've been really strong on that as well. What have you noticed in terms of the group embracing that sort of message?
As I said before, we've shown bits of that throughout our last 2 seasons, but especially this year. We haven't been able to do it for longer. Really just been trying to show them over the last 3 weeks the affirmation around when we do it well, what it looks like and what we get in return. And it's a competitive game, and the game shows you that the teams that are up the top of the ladder do it for longer. The game's built around contest and pressure, and so when we double down on just some simple KPIs and some simple focuses, and we get players to commit to it and buy into it, well, then we get what we got tonight, and that was a win. So they know they can do it. We talk about choices that we made, and they made a choice tonight to really do it for longer.
It seems like they enjoy it as well. Is that the impression?
Yeah. Well, things don't get given to you. You got to go get them, and when they work hard for it, on the track, in their prep, being accountable in their reviewing, and then they go out and execute. That's why, as a coach and as coaching staff and a football club, we're proud of their performance.
Is that KPI you're talking? Is that around contested footy? Is that where you're targeting your praise tonight? Yeah,
contest, pressure. 2 weeks in a row now. We wanted to be in a space where our pressure's above our average. So we chase things. We give them a behavioural action that we want players that they can see, not just a broader picture. So if it's pressure, it's that pressure factor across the ground. We'll chase that, And tonight in the last quarter, I think we were 2.1. You know, to do that in the fourth quarter, that just shows the commitment that we had across the board all night.
Was there anyone on the ground that led that tonight? Is there anyone that you can point to and say that took us across the line?
Probably the 23 players that played. Everyone had their moment. Look, it's you see the leaders do it. You know, as you said, we talk about Duggan, Cole presses the game, Jack Darling in the front half. Like his pressure there, Oscar Allen, they're just competing the leaders. And then you talk about the young fellas. Everyone talks about Harley Reid and the hype of what he does with the ball. Now, he probably got caught holding the ball a few times tonight, but don't want him to change. But what he did in the last quarter, that chase down tackle, that's what you look at. So everyone had their moment in the game. They all collectively did it as one.
Speak of everyone had their moment, I thought during the third term, Harvey Johnston stood out at stages, kicked a couple of goals. Hall had that run out of halfback. You picked, I think, 7 guys under 20 or under. Some of those guys really had some good nights and some big moments. What did you make of them?
Yeah, spot on. Just their composure. I think I mentioned in the box at one stage there was a bit of play with Jack Williams along the boundary line, Harvey Johnson. They just paused the game with their composure, and to have that composure in such a heated game just shows what's exciting for the future for the football club with those players. Tyrell kicks a couple. It's exciting because the leaders will always lead and they'll compete. But when you see the unearthing of some of those young fellas and how they feel that they belong out there, it's exciting when you're watching it. But they had some good moments, and I think I probably haven't mentioned, but Ruben Jimby, he took another step forward tonight across half back, and he's gone there in the last 3 or 4 weeks, so it's exciting. Yep.
Oscar Allen went off down to the rooms earlier in the match. What was?
He's okay. Yeah, the boys popping fingers and little niggles and that, but no, they're okay. All good.
Both Allen and Harley Reid who popped the finger.
Yeah, nothing too major. I think it was everyone dislocates fingers and they put them back in, but they were all good.
You spoke of Jinby. When Harry Edwards obviously went out with concussion, you had to use him as your third tall defender. And he looked like he, in the second term, had a couple of spoils that almost got him going and realised he could do that as well as run away and use the ball. Yeah. Well,
in fairness to those guys down back when Harry went off, probably as a midfielder and forward line, we probably weren't supporting our back half as well as what we should. And there's a lot of space for McAndrew to be able to lead into or King to lead into. So we rectified that. But there was a couple of craft moments where he got found out, but he's still learning. He's only been there the last 3 or 4 weeks, so he learnt on the job. I think at one stage I mentioned about putting Jack Williams behind the ball to play as a defender on McAndrew because he came out in a good spoil, and I'm glad the coaches swayed me from doing that because we saw what Jack Williams did in the third quarter. He had, I think, 8 possessions, kicked 1 goal and 4 score involvements and really turned the tables for us against Witts as a dominant ruckman. So, that's why we coach together and collaborate well.
McGovern's injuries a few weeks ago seemed pretty significant, so for him to come back and play the way he did tonight, is there ever conversations around putting him in cotton wool for the season?
Try and tell Gov that. No. Gov was trying to play last week and right to the line. You'd be a hard man to try and stop from playing. He's a real warrior, and some of his efforts tonight, 1 out versus 2 players at a time and just competing, save the day moments. So we want to keep him out there as long as we can.
It was a great response on the siren. Did you enjoy hearing the old song?
Loved it. Hadn't forgotten the words. Enjoyed singing it too. And I think it was great that the players walked past the field club and made sure they really embraced the supporters. And I just think all the coaches been down at ground level, embracing the players. It's been a long 2.5 years, and it's been a long year, and we've had moments where we showed some really positive signs, and 1 step forward, 2 step back. We want to make sure that we keep moving forward, and we just want to enjoy it together, but we're not getting ahead of ourselves. At the same time, we've got an 8-day break to tackle North down in Hobart. We want to make sure we freshen up and continue on and continue to get better. And that's what the whole message was over the last 3 weeks, and especially last week as well, to do it for longer and keep getting better.
Dom Sheed injured a hamstring at training, I understand, and missed a couple of weeks. And Andrew Gasso's also not playing Waffle tomorrow?
Yeah. Dom unfortunately hurt his hamstring, probably one of the last reps in training. So medical staff will look at that and see what the prognosis is there and how many weeks. And Gaffy's been a long year. They're not getting any younger. So in terms of manage, it's just making sure that he's fresh for the back half of the year or the last 3 or 4 games what we've got. Yeah.
Do you expect to maybe give him a send-off at some stage, maybe at Optus?
Oh, look, we're not really thinking about that right now. We're obviously enjoying the spoils now, and like I said, we want to make sure he's fresh, ready to go for the back 3 games that we've got.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.